want you to look at the origin here, and here's the origin as we begin to look at this here, is that Halloween originally began as a festival with the Celtics over 2,000 years ago in Europe. The Celtic people were a very cultish people. And this takes us all the way back to the times of Christ. That on October 31st was always celebrated by them as a feast of harvest. And so what they would do is they had all of these elements that associated with this feast of harvest. It was also the last day of the year for them. And where November 1st was the first day of the year. And so they understood that in between October 31st and November 1st, that there was a very thin line between the living and the dead. Because their God was a God of Samhain. And Samhain was the God of the dead. And so they believed and that they practiced that the spirits of the underworld would come up on October 31st. And so they called it Halloween, or holy evening is what it was associated as. And it was a holy evening because the underworld would come up. Now understand, they weren't worshiping the God of heaven. They were worshiping the God of the underworld, the God of the dead. And so there was this sense of awareness of many people that didn't want to become possessed by these spirits that would come up from the underworld. And so they would do various things to try to keep the spirits away. They would create these huge bonfires in an attempt to drive the spirits away. And many times that what would happen was that the spirits would manifest themselves in people's homes. And they would manifest themselves with these distorting figures. These images that were distorted. And the spirits wanted to be welcomed by the people. And if the spirits weren't welcomed by the people, then the demons would harass the people. They would harass them, and they would do something to harm them in some capacity. And this is where the trick or treat came about, and all of the costumes, because the demons themselves were manifesting themselves. And if they came and they appeared before someone's house, they wanted a treat. They wanted to be welcomed. And if they weren't given the treat, then they would provide the trick. This is the origin of it. And so they would put jack-o'-lanterns on the outside, and jack-o'-lanterns would capture the spirits, that the spirits wouldn't come inside the houses. See, these are all paganistic practices. And you think that, you see it, all of this being celebrated and everyone incorporating these things here, and they don't know what they're doing. But ladies and gentlemen, ignorance isn't an excuse. The Bible says in Hosea 4:6 that my people perish for a lack of knowledge. And your actions are either drawing you closer to God or they're pushing you away from God. So in all thy getting, get understanding. You've got to gather some understanding that you can move forward with God, because in a world that's immense with so much darkness, there is darkness everywhere. And darkness is distortion. Darkness is to be enveloped with nothingness. No value, no meaning, no feelings, no nothing. And this is the end state of people, why people are so discouraged today and so full of such a lack of motivation to do anything or to involve themselves. But the issue is this, is that so many doors. Indirectly practicing certain things, such as the practice of Halloween, holy evening. There's nothing holy about it. Not only that.